this, oh, beautiful flower. Why? Because I'm a human being and I have that kind of exaggeration potential within me, and because of that I'm experiencing this. So when I do that, I want to see it. It's a reality. I will see my version of flower rather than its reality. Or maybe sometimes, oh, this flower was same flower as yesterday, and it's kind of like a denigration. It was not. The yesterday's flower is already ceased, but it looks similar. Because of that, I'm confused. It didn't change its form. And this is exactly how, through not seeing, and top of that, remember yesterday, not seeing reality, not only that, but you're putting your own reality. Not just not knowing, but imputing. And then whole illusion happens. So we go through some kind of dependent origination, but then there's again still a lot to be understood. Now, among these two truths, first of all, it's important to understand that this true truth, conventional truth and ultimate truth, this illusion and this is reality. Now, it's important, of course, it is an illusion, but don't take it as a negative. Yeah? So, for example, it is said that those who don't understand that conventional truth is like a method, and ultimate truth is like the result or the meaning that comes from that method. And then when you try to look at from like, oh, maybe this is ultimate good, this is bad, or something like that, strong duality, and then there's a very danger that you might lose the path, because in fact all our path is based on the illusion in a way, right? Whatever we practice, it is in the set of duality. So we might feel like, oh, if it is illusion, then what's the point? But that's not true. So when you have an understanding that even though conventional truth is illusion, but this illusion will bring me to the ultimate truth, and this is possible. Even though it sounds a little bit like going from illusion to non-illusion, a little bit paradox, but that's how it works. So now we can say that there are certain illusions which are quite useless, right? But then there are lots of illusions that are very useful illusions. For example, even like these conversations happening, right? It is still in illusion, but through this illusion, it's helping you to understand what is illusion by using this illusion, right, in a way. So when we say conventional truth, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's completely bad thing or wrong, right? Yes, there is always something is missing, but if you know how to use the illusion, it can be the method or indicator to get rid out of that illusion. Because some illusions are nice, good illusions, so to speak, positive illusions that they tell you I am illusion, so that through that you can understand. There are some illusions, they pretend to be the realist, ultimate truth, rather than the conventional, the illusion. So that's a problem, and we think, oh, this is the ultimate truth. So what I'm trying to say is that conventional truth is a illusion, is a mistaken foundationally, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is unnecessary or it is something that is bad. So you can use conventional truth to reach the ultimate truth, exactly like what I'm trying to explain you. We can talk in conventional truth to understand the ultimate truth, even though all the explanation that I'm talking about ultimate truth is not ultimate, it's just conventional. So this is, as long as we're using the thoughts, duality minds, the language, it doesn't really matter what we say or what we try to explain, it will be in conventional truth, but it is very healthy and helpful conventional truth. In fact, as a normal human being, unfortunately, we don't have any other means like mind transmitting. We don't have that. So this is the only method that we have, through using the conventional truth, reaching the ultimate. And this is said again and again in Sutra. If you miss that, then it's very difficult because you will disregard all the path and just think, oh, it's just conventional truth. And there's no way to reach the ultimate truth. You will destroy all the means. But having said that, at the same time, you should not also be too much attached to this path. As a result, sometimes it happens. So understanding path as a path is important. So from that point of view, even though we say conventional truth and ultimate truth, right? If you ask me, what is the ultimate realities from the Buddhist point of view? What is the ultimate truth? So I would say that ultimate truth, from the ultimate point of view, the ultimate truth is that there is no truth. I know it might backfire me, but So you can only talk, even the ultimate truth that we categorize, oh, this is emptiness, ultimate truth, or this is very much through in the framework of dualistic mind, conventional frame set, so to speak. Because you can only talk about the ultimate truth depending on the relative truth or conventional truth. So these are important, but it's not easy. It takes time. But these are very, very crucial. Because remember, if you don't understand this point, whether you regard something as ultimate truth, which is not ultimate, or you will disregard all the methods and paths to reach the ultimate truth. And this is exactly, you don't have a middle way view, which means you fall into the two extremes, saying that everything is ultimate or nothing is ultimate. And this is exactly why Buddha didn't talk one truth. He taught two truths. Reason. Now, there will be very, how truth can be two, right? Truth is only one. How you can have a two truth, because one has to be not truth, right? To go back, our so um, you can say that the conventional truth is called truth only as long as it's in conventional. The reason is that because it functions as a truth, and that's enough, that's not much. So what it means is that, remember the analogy? So if you just look at from the persons who experience rope as a snake, if you just look at from this person's conventional point of view, snake was a snake. Why? Because it scared me. Exactly the same way how the real snake will scare you. Yeah. So here it's very important, even we believe that only the real snake will scare me. Scaring is not coming from, it's coming from the snake, right? What we think. But actually that's not true. Even the fake snake can scare you. Exactly the same way how the real snake scares you. So since it is enough to scare you, that's in a way function of the snake, and you get scared, and from that point of view, you can call it, oh, it is true. So, for example, this for me, this flower is a conventional truth because it works perfectly. If you give me, I see it beautiful, I will be happy. If I give you, you will be happy. As long as the flower works that way. But of course, it's not the ultimate truth. It is only truth in conventional level. But you can call it truth because as long as you are in the conventional zone, it functions. So this is important, that even though we say everything is empty, and then sometimes we may ask, like, if everything is empty, then what's the point of practicing? What's the point of doing this? What's the point of doing that, right? Unfortunately, even though everything is empty, even though the rope was never a snake from the beginning, to the end, but you get scared, unfortunately. That's why you need to come back and see whether it is a snake or not. So even though everything's empty, as long as you are in this conventional zone, there is an effect. There's a function. Conventional function is happening. So that's why we have to do something. We cannot just sit and say, oh, everything is empty. It doesn't work that way. Right? Even though, yes, from the rope's point of view, if rope is rope, why someone gets scared? Huh? So, so the so in order to have a proper middle way view, which does not disregard these two, the conventional truth and the ultimate truth, and not falling into the two extremes of existing or non-existent, or you can say the extremes of emptiness and extremes of appearance. It's very important, and that's why, as I said yesterday, that as long as you don't understand or you differentiate between the nature of dependent and the nature of ultimate, you are still far from the intent of Buddha. And this is very challenging. It's not easy, because the one reason is we have a little bit wrong understanding of emptiness. It takes some time to understand the proper emptiness, because normally what we hear is that emptiness means non-existent, yeah, and then it becomes difficult. It's saying that when we say the unity of dependent origination and the emptiness, for example, when we hear things like form is empty, emptiness is form, yeah, immediately it has some kind of contradictions. The reason is that we don't understand the dependent origination, and we think that when we say emptiness, non-existent, and when we say form, yeah, we think like, oh, existent form. And when we say form is emptiness, and then we think about form becoming a non-existent, and that's a mostly people make this mistake at the beginning. So it's very important to understand and make the introspection. What do I really mean by this emptiness? And in order to understand that emptiness, you have to understand that this dependent. Because if you understand this flower is dependent, then it's almost like saying similar, oh, I understand this flower, emptiness. This is you're just looking emptiness a little bit from the different angle. And also understanding this dependent, there's lots of other benefits. Having sort of faith and the confidence in karma, and also all these non-violence, compassions, all this makes sense. But not only the compassion, non-violence, practicing six paramita, not just because being good to someone else. You don't do it through sympathy, you do it through the wisdom, because you understand the dependent, whether it's your suffering or it's the happiness. So it's quite a important, even though it looks simple, but if you look a little bit deeper, it really is like a backbone of all the other practices. And similarly, if you really understand the dependent properly, you will get this very strong confidence. If I practice this, this will happen. So today I think I was saying that sometimes we disregard or underestimate basic things which are very important in order to improve our practice and get realization. So to have a confidence in Dharma and to have a confidence in our Buddhahood, it's important to think more about the Four Noble Truths and its mechanism. And it is crucial to understand ultimate truth as an antidote to our ignorance, but the ultimate truth, emptiness, can be understood through the dependent origination, which is the best way. And between also the one another important thing is that conventional truth and ultimate truth are not completely good or bad, something like that. So we have to understand that even though it is an illusion, but it is a very, very useful illusion. And what you have to do is that instead of being caught or being trapped by this illusion, you can use that illusion in order to reach or get rid out of the illusion. And when you understand that, then you understand emptiness, but also you understand the whole mechanism of our path, such as prostration, visualization, reciting mantra, since it is dependent. Even though it is in dualistic mind, it is in convention level, but it makes sense. It becomes some sort of like methods, yeah, to indicate what is not illusion and what is the ultimate truth. Okay, so I'll stop here.